Hello, welcome to Fireteam Heathen's Last Mag. I am Epic1775, and this is Foxhound. We are going to be talking about Pro Halo. Actually, today we're mostly just going to talk about Pro Halo.
Yeah, not just Halo itself, but like particularly professional Halo, because it is just popping off since last weekend, popping off right this second in the Mexican region. It is all going insane, dude. Yeah, we don't even know where to start with this.
Yeah, no, for those of you that don't know, last weekend was the first HCS Open for this season. For those that really don't know, HCS Open is the Halo Championship Series. Open is going to be an online tournament that any team can attend and join in on in hopes to move their way up the rankings and get into the more regional and championship level style tournaments, which I imagine is very similar to other game series.
Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna have a bit of a combination of the way some esports have handled it. There's some that handle it like an open league where you're playing your games that are scheduled and you're farming up the basically the score to get into the playoffs. It looks like we're doing a combination of that with just straight up good old fashioned tournaments, which is how Overwatch League handled their last season, and it was a pretty good structure to be honest. So I'm excited to see how it works for Halo.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely shaping up to work as a combination of both ways because there was a tournament last weekend. Well, technically 4 tournaments last weekend, one per region.
Yeah, dude, it's
There are
insane.
4. Yeah, there are the same thing again this weekend, though it looks for the most part to be the same teams from last weekend pulling through this one. Not too many differences. And I believe next weekend is the qualifiers. Now with the qualifiers, the teams that take first and second place are automatically in the champions brackets for the tournament in Raleigh.
Right.
Third and fourth place get fully funded to go to the tournament, but they have to still compete in the open
Right.
for that.
Which is what
So
you've been seeing over the last couple weekends, those uncasted games where you've been able to watch the player's point of view. That's been the people that are fighting their way into those qualifiers, the qualifying tournament.
yeah, and just for a rough idea of what we're talking about, it's not we're not talking about like, oh, there's like 30 teams trying to do this thing. No, the North America region alone last
Capped
weekend had
out.
108 teams.
Yep, and this weekend we capped out 512. Couldn't even have more
Oof.
people sign up. Just wasn't physically possible. If you loved Halo esports back in the day during Halo 5, it doesn't matter. You are feeling like Farrah Fawcett with a blank script right now. You are just you are happy. You're like a pig in shit.
Oh yeah. Um, and on top of that, previously most of the it's been previously it's only been regions, or has it been 3?
Ooh, I don't remember. I know that North America and EU have always been there.
You're right.
Has there been an Asian region in the past? I don't really remember.
No, not that I know of. I know right now because there's North America, there's the EU region, there's the Australia New Zealand region. I'm not sure if that's new or not. Judging by, I mean, I don't recognize any of the team names that just won, which is kind
I
of
recognize some.
okay. So maybe they did have their own region previously,
Mm.
but now they've added a Mexico region, which I think is probably come season 2 is going to expand into a more like Latin America region than just Mexico.
Right.
But still, this is a first for Halo at least, and definitely a step forward for esports having 4 regions for one game.
It's what I've always wanted to see. For North America, I've always wanted to see a strong emphasis on professionally handled tournaments where people can build careers, much in the same way that South Korea handles esports. Just you've got people that literally just like from the time that they're a kid, they're like, I want to be an esports star. That's just what I want to do. I want to click heads and destroy people, just Zerg rush people in StarCraft for a living. I've always wanted to see something like that happen in North America, and this really looks like the start of it. That could have happened with Overwatch, but never really did.
Yeah, Overwatch definitely had some strong contention, and really, Overwatch kind of sealed its fate twofold with the choices the developers made, and then COVID hit.
It's a lot of Activision crap, and just there were a lot of ESPN kind of people involved in the early days of Overwatch League, and that's why there's that contrast between the league and what we had before. We had something called Overwatch Apex, and that went on for a couple seasons, and it was like just a traditional esport. Overwatch League did a lot of things great, but I think that it failed to or it emphasized too strongly on only NA, and I think that was its biggest shortcoming. And I think that I don't think that was something that they planned on being a problem forever, but they just never really had the funding after the first couple of years to really grow much beyond that. Season 2 had a lot of growth because Season 1 was very successful, and that's why I don't think it's really that there are a lot of things that I don't blame on the league itself for the league's failure.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like it started out a lot like the MLG did.
Very much.
Too. But whereas MLG went one way and decided to expand, it seems like Overwatch kind of narrowed down instead, doubled down.
Right, and when you've got Activision at the very top making decisions, there's only so much you can do. Yep, the almighty dollar and the power of I want that short burst of money right now because I'm in this position right now, and shareholders will be happy if I drop this wad of cash on them. Longevity be damned. That's really the big problem is when they don't think about longevity. But a lot of times the people in charge, they're only thinking about what can I do to drop, a fat load of money on my boss right now because that'll look good.
Longevity tends to turn into just what's the profit for the next business quarter.
Right. I think Riot's handled that very well too. Just the way they take what they have and they aren't willing to backstab the people that they currently have just because hey we might explode for a couple of months on Twitch and be the biggest thing. League of Legends is already big. Valorant's already big. They're not too worried about it. And now Halo is even bigger.
Yeah, and bringing it back to Halo, bigger again. Bringing it back to Halo. So I have the winners here from all 4 regions of last weekend's tournaments.
Right.
So let's talk about how if we recognize any of these teams, and honestly, if any of these teams have I'm hearing a lot about teams transferring over from different games to play Halo now.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure Barcode is from Overwatch actually.
Okay.
That guy that's just been dominating Australia lately.
Yep. Yeah, he's in what I was about to say. In the first place is NutriBullet.
Both weekends.
Both weekends, yes. And their members are Seduce, Barcode, Prades, and Madzi.
Yep. And but both times grand finals against Divine Mind, who put on one hell of a series.
Yeah, which Divine Might is Berserk, Pips, Rated, and Slays.
Yep. Rated in particular seems like a really good player. Just from a mechanical standpoint.
Okay. Anything that stand out in particular? I didn't get a chance to watch very much of the
I
Australian New
just
Zealand.
noticed the guy can frag like no other, and when you need it.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other two that took third and fourth for the Australia New Zealand region would be Nuke and Pave, which is Junior, Jukor, Mantis, Boca, and Lunchy. None of those names are sticking out to me. Hopefully they will in the future, though. And then we got Team Idolize with Ninjestics, Flex Reigns, Square, and Wrath City. Man, some people's gamer tags.
Right.
All
And
over the
you'll
place.
see similar or the exact same gamer tags sometimes across different games. And when you're like
Mm-hmm.
me and you've just been following esports like since you were a kid, it's just like, oh yeah, the barcode from this game or barcode from that game. Foxhound
Right.
from Overwatch, Foxhound from Call of Duty.
Was there another Foxhound in Call of Duty?
I found out that there was another Foxhound because he followed me on Instagram, and I checked him out, and he's a Warzone streamer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Okay, so now we have the Mexico region from last weekend. The first four places, we've got the Pittsburgh Knights, which is an interesting name for a Mexico team, I think.
Yeah, wait a minute, Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and the roster for that team right now is Atso, Drift, Tapping Buttons, and Gambino. I think Tapping Buttons is a fantastic gamer tag.
Tapping buttons, yeah.
Tapping Buttons.
Just tapping buttons, taking your
Yeah.
flag, taking your wife.
Team 2 is Fire and Ice.
Fire and
Sometimes
ice.
spell things weird, but it's Fire. Team 2 is Fire and Ice. And the roster is Nugget, Ludurk, Noble, and Bullet. Now, Ludurk, I've heard before.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I've heard of Noble too.
Yeah, I think Ludurk. I can't. I'm not gonna try to guess. I don't.
Wait,
I know.
I'm thinking of the
name.
team Noble, not another player named Noble. What the hell am I thinking?
No, not Noble. No. And in third place, we had TNT with Deco 1, Deco 1, one of those. Danny Knight, R for Rinnigan, and Reaper Rips. I love gamer tag. I will just, I will always love it.
I know in the gamer tags, especially in Halo, are always legendary.
Oh yeah. And then fourth place was. Now I don't speak Spanish, but I'm gonna make an attempt here. TV Soliarocha. That's the team name.
And that's one of the teams that was playing in today's
Took
qualifier.
fourth.
Oh,
Yes,
fourth
they took
place.
fourth.
Hell yeah.
And their roster is Grimsty, Blood Reyna, Dragoniac, and I Not Jerry.
Wait, that's from last weekend?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, because I peeked in before we started recording, and the Mexico games for this region are actually going on as we record.
Yes, they are.
And
Yeah,
the NA games are starting about 20 minutes, too. Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're going to miss the first little bit of that, but that's okay.
We'll probably just miss, like, the opening vamp and stuff.
Yeah. All right, now here's something we'll probably... Now we're getting to regions that we'll probably start having things to say about. So, EU, first place we got Cartel.
Oh, yeah, once again. Once again against OEX.
OEX, who took second.
Yep.
Last weekend and this weekend.
Yep, and once again put up one hell of a grand final for us before. Like, there's always a clear winner that makes the second place just look like nothing in their series, but particularly this time, Divine Mind put up more of a fight against NutriBullet, and it looks like it was a quick 3-mapper for Cartel. But
Oh yeah.
it's always crazy the context of just how they got there, because they get there by doing the exact same thing to the teams below them, making them look like they, you nope, you don't belong in that second place spot. That's ours.
Right. Now, an interesting thing about Cartel and OEX, um, all four members of OEX, who are SLG, Fragger, uh, Nurix, and Chick, they're all French.
Mm-hmm.
It is a 100% team. Now, Cartel, which is Shady, Legend, Sika, and Sniper Drones. Snipe Drone?
Snipe drone.
Snipe Drone.
Yeah,
Yep.
yes, Snipe drone. Who put? You said that you saw him put down 9K damage in one round. Which round was that? Because that might not have been one of the rounds that I
That
saw.
was the final oddball round for today.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I was in the middle of doing that Christmas tree stuff, so I didn't catch that one.
Yeah, but Snipe Drone put down 9K damage in one round of oddball. But the interesting thing is Shady, Legend, and Sika, they're all French too.
Mm-hmm.
Snipe Drone, however, is not only not French, he doesn't speak French.
That's difficult. It's not just language and communication, by the way, that will drive somebody to build an all French roster. The French are insane in esports, dude.
Yeah.
Like the French and the Finns and the Danish. I've seen some insane Danish players.
But it's an interesting play for Cartel, especially taking first, because you have their three French players
Mm,
continuously and consistently playing the objective,
mm.
knowing Snipe Drone is literally just running around the map capping people.
Oh yeah, you can totally take that into consideration with your strategy, especially if you sign a player that you know isn't going to be able to communicate efficiently. It's usually because you're confident in their mechanics, and they're just going to be
Mhm.
they're basically going to be like your 3-4-3 bot that runs around and
Right.
kills things for you.
Now, something I'm interested in seeing in the future is if OEX actually capitalizes on that. Because if they focus on Snipe Drone and start just like cutting him down wherever they can,
Mm.
they're going to force that team to have to communicate with him. And with that language barrier, that can make matches fall apart really fast.
I was gonna say that's the drawback, is that a good enough team is going to exploit that every step of the way, and they're gonna
Yeah.
start trying to single out Snipe Drone and trying to catch them out, because even if you're trying to play close to your team, it's there's no communication like communication that you can understand. So that
Right.
there's going to be a rotation that he's a little too slow on, and that's where you can catch him out. So
Yeah.
that you can
It's
only go
definitely
so
going to
far
be.
with that, but it also his mechanics could always just be that good that nobody can stop him anyway. So
Yeah.
it's just going to
It's
take great
definitely.
mechanics on his part.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how Cartel fares against some of the North America teams
Mm-hmm.
uh, coming up, because they might be top of Europe, but Halo is notoriously and dangerously North America centric,
Right.
and some of these North America teams have turned around to like top playing Europe teams and top playing Asian teams and just smacked them down.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Uh,
there's also what was I gonna say? There's also Korea, possibly, well, not just Korea, but Asia potentially coming in next year. And if they come in next year and they don't get servers until next year, then that's without a doubt going to happen. Just every region's probably going to smack, especially the Chinese teams, just early on. It'll take
yeah,
some time for a new region, if and that's again depending entirely on if they get servers to play on, because I know that
mm,
right now Australia, they have to be, they almost have to Like I told you what Mint Blitz had to do to save himself from just infinite ping every game.
Yeah,
In
they
esports,
tend
that
to
can
have to
definitely
either
be a
close.
thing. Like I don't think Australia would be able to compete unless it was on LAN.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So to close out the top four for EU from last weekend, we have Team Navi,
Mm-hmm.
um, who's very well known amongst esports. I'm
Right.
pretty sure. Um, their roster being Jimbo, to Foxy, Kimbo, and Respectful.
Mm-hmm.
To Foxy, duh. Uh, and then fourth place last weekend was just listed. Is their team name just TBD to be determined?
You know, I have heard of a team called TBD in
Okay, that's
Overwatch
ingenious because
before,
I'm sitting here being like, I'm sitting here looking at
but
it, going, did
you,
they not do it? Name?
but you know, hang on a second. I just want to.
Well, so while you look at that, their roster is Ramirez, I think, Clonely, Riots, and Flux.
Right.
Yeah, if their team name is just TBD, that's hilarious. That's one of those great team names. It's like having a band called That Band. That way, it's just whenever it's on the flyer, all you see is now playing That Band. So
I'm not seeing anything about TBD, but
it's
is
going
it
to be
true? Is it
almost
true
impossible.
that Ogre 2 is coaching a team?
He's looking to. Ogre One is
Is he
looking to
LFT?
coach.
Wait, GM of Mutineers, Misfits GG.
Can we talk about Ogre?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's wait.
No, Ogre is
The Mutineers. Isn't that a Call of Duty team? Yeah.
yes, yes, this.
Oh, I didn't know that he managed a Call of Duty team.
Yep. No, Ogre is one of the OGs of esports.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
no, I remember him from those days.
yeah. If there was a real life sport equivalent, I would say OG was like
Like Barry Sanders or Brett Favre or some shit.
well, no, I was gonna say like Jordan, but
Oh, like Michael Jordan, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense with the history and just how much he
right.
dominated. That makes sense. It's
I'm sure there's plenty. I'm sure there's plenty of
kind of like
professional athletes that are much older that I could think of, but I can't because I don't pay that close attention to real sports.
yeah, I pay way more attention to video game sports.
Yep. So for the North American side of things, in fourth place last weekend we had KC Pioneers with a
Kansas
roster of
City.
Snipe, Druck, Tolic, and Super CC. Not a team I've heard of. I
Which
don't know if you're
team?
familiar with them at all.
Which team?
KC Pioneers.
KC Pioneers. You know, that might be something that was established specifically. Like, you know, a lot of teams just put themselves together and gave themselves a name because they wanted to
Fair
play in
enough.
the tournament. Maybe that was
Yeah.
what it was, but I could be wrong about that. Here, let's look that one up.
I mean, they beat out E United and G2 Esports.
So they're not fucking around. That's
Yeah,
for sure.
they're definitely in it to win it.
Because those are
Um,
two teams that don't fuck around.
yeah, and in the final match, they took fourth place and lost against the third place winner last weekend, which was Sentinels.
Right.
Now, Sentinels, we got Royal 2, Snakebite, Lethal, and Frosty. Lethal just, well, Lethal is lethal. Plus, you got Frosty doing a lot of the, if I remember correctly, Frosty does a lot of trick shots.
He does indeed. So it looks
Yeah.
like the Kansas City Pioneers were actually formed in 2019, so they are a real org.
Okay, cool. And they formed specifically for, they probably formed for Halo 5, and then
Yeah, if they're specifically a Halo org, which I didn't see anything about a specific game, I don't recall seeing them anywhere in Overwatch or Valorant. So
okay.
they could
Well,
be just a Halo team. I mean, Halo is enough, man. Like, it's
especially
just
now.
yeah, just like League of Legends and Valorant. Like, you could have. Well, I guess probably not Valorant right now. Their honeymoon phase with the industry is kind of over, and they're not in a bad spot. But I don't think they have that like insane new game popularity anymore.
Yeah, that's Valorant seems to be a game that's either going to need some sort of major DLC or a Valorant 2.
I don't think it would need a Valorant 2. I think that they need to market. I don't know. I think that they maybe need to market it better because when I watch it, I think, why aren't more people watching this? And
Mm-hmm.
if the product itself is good, then perhaps it's just the marketing, or it's just because I'm a sweaty fan of flick shooters and other people just don't like those games anymore. I know plenty of people that like Halo and Valorant and Overwatch, stuff like that still, so that's kind of why I look at Valorant and think it should be more popular than it is.
I will say Halo is one of those things that has it has the legacy
Right,
behind
right.
it. That even if the game style starts to dry up, the fact that what we're seeing right now is evidence of is that just the legacy of Halo itself will start bringing that back, especially with the effort they're and like love they're putting into sport.
Well, that, and I think that just fundamentally, it's a good enough game that, like, just no matter how old it gets, as long as they keep putting the right polish on there and they keep giving us, like, maps and content that just makes it feel fresh enough, I think that fundamentally Halo is good enough that it can just keep on growing and growing as generations come and go.
Well,
I mean, we've seen that with Counter Strike, and like Counter Strike is a meme to some people as being like just a shitty, sweaty, try hard game, but like it's still objectively enough and makes enough money that we've had generations of esports players come and go from it.
Right. And 343 has already come out and said Halo Infinite is their 10-year plan.
Right, like this is their plan with the franchise over the next like decade, and
yep.
that decade will go even further if it keeps succeeding, because Final Fantasy 14, Square Enix had I think like an 8-year plan for it. They dropped the game and they had plans for DLC all the way up to the one that's about to drop, Endwalker. They dropped that. The first game comes out and it's trash, but they're still committed to this plan. Or the vanilla game comes out, it's trash. They're committed to this plan, so they rework it. And now that it's like, when the game launched, they were probably just thinking, all right, let's just get us through everything we had planned and then drop it. But now that the game is exploding and it's getting to a point where it threatens World of Warcraft, no, they're not done. They've already come out and said, we got plans for like 4 more expansions after this. So buckle up. Yeah. We're not done with FF. That could be Halo Infinite in the future. Like, Halo Infinite could still be the thing in like 15 years if it stays popular.
Especially with them deciding to release Halo Infinite multiplayer separately from the campaign. Because if they do that, it evolves that way. They can evolve Halo Infinite with updates and DLC while still putting out other Halo games for the story.
Right, and that's one of the things that I've been telling people to get them excited about that campaign is, like, you'll play this, and then perhaps a couple years from now, there's another campaign in Infinite, and it's just more open world maps and stuff like that.
Right. Kind of like what Call of Duty is trying and failing to do.
Right.
Yeah. Call of Duty if Call of Duty wanted to do that the right way, they should have started with a World War One Call of Duty game, and then when they decided to update it, do World War Two, and then when they decided to update it again later, do Vietnam.
Just keep on adding expansions.
Progress instead of
Oh
doing
yeah.
this weird jump around time thing they've been doing.
Well, in I think the main issue is, like, at least from an esports side of things and a quality of product side of things, they know that a lot of Call of Duty's audience, I hate to say this, is not the brightest. Like, I'm saying that as somebody that used to play Call of Duty when I was.
Careful now.
I mean, I played Call of Duty all the time when I was in high school. You know, it's not like I'm saying it as a hater.
I have Diamond Knife and Diamond Right Shield. I played enough Call of Duty.
Right, exactly, and I played, like, I loved Modern Warfare. I even enjoyed Modern Warfare 2, as unbalanced as it was. I liked Modern Warfare 3 and the first couple Black Ops.
I was a Black Ops 2 player.
Oh yeah, Black Ops 2 is great.
Black Ops 2 is the one that I got all 10 of the
prestige thing. When
you re-prestige. Call of Duty 2 or Black Ops 2 is the one that I did it all 10 times.
Oh yeah,
way too much.
I was playing too much damn World of Warcraft at the time. There was no way I was doing that in Call of Duty at the same time.
Right. So, just to round us off here, second place last weekend was Cloud9 for North America, with the roster of Stellar, Renegade, Penguin, and Eco.
Yep, and that grand finals was a rematch of how the winner bracket went. I think it was bracket 6. Optic Gaming dropped to Cloud9 pretty decisively up there. Went down to the losers bracket and fought their way all the way back to the grand finals, and then smacked Cloud9 in the face.
Yeah, because Optic Gaming ended up taking first with Trippy, Lucid, APG, and Pistola.
Yeah, that was a great tourney.
Now, how does that work? Where they got knocked down to the loser bracket, but then actually came back and won?
Because they lost in the winner's bracket, where you're trying to cement your grand final spot, where you're just waiting for your opponent to come in. You know, you're basically the incumbent of first place, and then the person that gets to fight you, the incumbent for that first place, is the one that earns their way into that spot by fighting through the loser's bracket, because the loser's bracket is going to have somebody that fell in from the winner's bracket. So or somebody that starts off in the loser's bracket beats whoever comes down from the winner's bracket. So either way, it's not like somebody just gets a free ride. Somebody lost to get into the loser's bracket and they earn their double elim situation, or you started off in the lower seed and you're on a single elim thin ice thing. That's basically how a lot of those tournaments work.
Okay, let me rephrase that and see if I'm understanding. So basically, at the end, it's first and second place isn't decided by the people that just like won their way to that point. It's all of the losers have their own bracket thing.
Right.
And then once you have a first place team and then a first place team on the loser side, those are the two that go figure out who's first and second.
Right. Whoever won in the winner's brackets the most is basically going to be the one that earns their spot in that grand finals spot where somebody has to come fight them for it.
Okay, so your standard pyramid tournament, except for there's one step at the end.
Yeah, basically, it's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense, and that does it does help prevent, like say if we played, this weekend and it's like match number 1, it's up versus Optic, we'd be like, well.
Whoever was top seed going into the tournament at the start of the weekend, They can totally blow it and end up in the losers bracket and have to fight their way back to a chance at the grand finals, or whoever comes in at the top can smack their first couple of opponents and be like, "Yep, that's right, grand finals is ours. Come fight us for it." That's why we were top seed in the first place. Basically like that.
I see how that works. Okay.
Yeah. But also, if you come into those winners brackets and you lose your first couple games, it doesn't matter that you were first place coming into it. The third or fourth came in and beat you that first game, so you're now in the losers bracket.
Right. Very interesting.
So yeah, literally nobody has just an easy ride. That's what I love about that tournament structure.
And then next weekend we got the actual qualifiers.
Yep.
For who gets to straight up just skip the beginning side of the tournament for Raleigh.
Yeah, the Raleigh. Hell yeah.
Yeah, Raleigh's going to be interesting. It's going to be the first big name, money on the line Halo Infinite tournament.
Yep, and it's going to be the first LAN. I hope that the hype, like that initial hype, is still there. Like, we've got a couple weeks. Hopefully that that initial hype doesn't die down by then. And because if it's just the people who are going to be there anyway, then that's not like bad or anything. But if some people who are new to Halo esports, or these couple of weekends have been their first exposure to esports in general, I really hope that they at least stick around for that first LAN, because that first LAN, those broadcasts are gonna I think that they're gonna stick with people, and they're gonna be the start of like a passion for esports for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, and yeah, because we have, let's see, so there's next weekend,
right,
the qualifiers, which then 2 days after that is the official launch of Infinite. And then the following week, because I think the 15th is the Raleigh tournament.
Yep, 15th to the 17th.
Yep.
At least according to the handbook.
Looking forward to, because it's going to be near us, is the actual grand championships for this whole tournament.
Yeah, it's going to be in Seattle.
October 20th in Seattle.
The day before my birthday. I can totally request that time off from whatever job I'm at and be like, it's my birthday, fuck you.
I'm thinking, even though I doubt that we will be competing in that tournament,
we will be there.
We could, yeah, we could still buy tickets and attend.
Oh yeah, we gotta.
Yeah. Maybe we'll make some Fireteam Heathen jerseys before the fact and wear them there.
Oh hell yeah! Well, I was gonna say we need to actually get looking into some customized jerseys, because it at the very least we can get the 4 made for our roster.
Right. Our roster that's currently 3.
So Vivid. Well, we'll talk about that later.
That's just 3. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, interesting times.
Yep, and we just hit 40-minute mark. Okay. It's 3:07. The NA games probably started by now. Is there anything else really?
HCS already tweeted out there that's starting in their casting.
Yeah, hell yeah. I don't know. Is there really anything else that we need to go over?
No, any other topics that we start trying to discuss right now will launch us into our
another episode basically.
I think on a tournament weekend where we're about to go have a watch party is probably a good spot to end.
Oh yeah, no, this is a pretty decent spot to end. I was kind of worried that we were gonna either I was worried that we were going to worry too much and not have enough for an episode, or that we were going to go over it and miss part of the watch party and look like assholes.
No, basically just talking about the teams that are out there and the the tournaments going on.
Yeah. Honestly, this is really nothing that a Halo fan doesn't already know from just the zeitgeist of the community right now. Esports is back. Halo
Right.
Esports is back.
Definitely. I will say that before we go, Optic Gaming. They came over from Gears.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen them in multiple games. One of the teams that I like in Overwatch League, the Houston Outlaws, they're Optic Gaming owned.
Okay, so Optic Gaming actually has a whole bunch of other teams under their umbrella.
Right.
Or you. Okay. Maybe that's maybe that'll be the subject of our next video, because I'm still not 100% on how some of that. It's not just a team; it's an actual organization that owns other teams.
Oh, dude! If this was Call of Duty or Overwatch we were getting into, you would be so much more confused, because in both of those leagues, the teams have to basically rebrand their roster to name themselves after a city and basically LARP like they're a basketball team instead.
Oh no! Yeah, I don't know all these nuances. I just somewhat well.
Like, and don't get me wrong, I've got my Dallas Fuel flag back there. I've got my New York Excelsior jersey and all of that stuff. I tried to play into the hype just to make it succeed, and didn't work.
It didn't.
It didn't work.
Fair enough. Well, you want to close this out?
Oh yeah. So check us out on YouTube. Check us out on Twitch. We both got Twitters. We're gonna be doing weekly episodes for at least the next couple of months as the HCS starts to kick off. And let's see, I know that we had something else that we were trying to get out there. We're gonna try and make the watch parties a normal thing, not hours at a time. We definitely need to free up more time for Fireteam Heathen content outside of that. But we are going to try and make the commentary watch parties a regular thing, especially for big tournaments on, like, what we've got going on today for the Raleigh qualifiers. We'll definitely be doing a watch party for the Raleigh Invitational proper. But,
that'll probably be our next one, actually.
Oh, yeah. Wait, 120... Oh, no, we would probably squeeze in an episode before... next watch party, definitely.
Our next watch party, yeah. Which actually, by the time... once this is up, it'll still be before that. So definitely pay attention to us on Facebook or on Twitter, and come join us on Discord for the watch party for the Raleigh, the first big LAN tournament for Halo.
Hell yeah.
Yep. All right, so with that, this was Fireteam Heathen's Last Mag. Again, I'm Epic1775. This is Foxtrot. Catch y'all next time.